Hi all, welcome to Learn Code Repeat. Today we'll be looking at day 5 of the October Lead Code Challenge. The name of the problem is complement of base 10 integer. Before we go into the problem, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get all notifications on the channel. So let's check out the problem. So the problem says every non-negative integer n has a binary representation. For example, 5 can be represented as 101 in binary, 11 as 1011 in binary, and so on. Note that except for n equal to 0, there are no leading zeros in any binary representation. The complement of a binary representation is the number in binary you get when you change every 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. For example, the complement of 101 in binary is 010 in binary. For a given number n in base 10, return the complements of its binary representation as a base 10 integer. So basically the problem asks for switching or flipping the bits in the binary number from 1 to 0 and 0 to 1 and returning that decimal number back. So the example that is provided here is the input is 5 and output is 2. How the output is 2? The binary representation for 5 is 101, and if you flip all the bits it will become 010, right, and 010 is nothing but 2. So let's take this example and analyze how we can solve this. Okay, so 5 is 101 and 2 is 010, right. Now if you observe the properties of XOR, right, here we have 1 XOR 0 equal to 1 and 1 XOR 1 equal to 0, 0 XOR 0 equal to 0, 0 XOR 1 equal to 1. Basically what XOR does is if the two digits or if the two binary number is different, then it will always be 1. So that is the case here and here. Okay, let me use a different color, this here and here. So if the two number is different or the two digit is different, it will always be 1. If it is same, it will always be 0. Okay. Now the other property, if you see, if I am XORing 1 with any number, the output that I am getting is the flip of that number, or the output that I am getting is the opposite of that number. So when I say opposite, in binary the opposite of 1 is 0, 0 is 1. So if I XOR 1 with 1, the output I get is 1, and again if I XOR 0 with 1, the output that I get is 1. So it is the opposite of this number and here it is the opposite of this. The same is not the case with 0. Okay. So here 0, if I XOR with 1, the output I get is 1, which is same as this number. Okay. So here the XOR of 1, this is flipping always the bit with which it's XORing, and that's what we want here, right. So that means that if I XOR 1 with this number, so my number is 1015, and if I use 111 and do a XOR operation here, so 1 and 1, here 1 and 1 is 0, so 1 and 1 is 0. If it is different digit, then it will always be 1, so 0 and 1 is 1, and 1 and 1 is again same digit, so it will be 0. So the output is 010, that's what we are expecting. Okay. So based on the XOR property, we got it that we can XOR with all number as 1 and we will find the output what we need, and then we can return the decimal of that value, right. So the tricky part is how can we form 111, or basically this here we are using the number of bits as 111 based on what is my input value, right. So input value, if it has 3 bits, I need a 3111, right. So here the tricky part is how can we arrive at 111, right. So this can be split it into two operations. One is finding the number of bits, right, and second is, so this is the first, and second is once we find the number of bits, having ones in all the position. Okay. So once we find out how to do this, these two things, we will be able to solve this problem, right. So let's see how we can find the number of bits, right. So let's go to this problem first. So finding the number of bits can be done in two ways. Okay. So one is we can simply do a while loop. So the first option is we can simply count the number of bits, right. So what we can do here, if it is 101, right, we can do a right shift of the bits one by one, and until my bit is 0, right, because when I do a right shift, right, what it will do is, let us say I am doing right shift by 1, so it will remove this particular, the rightmost bit, it will remove that and it will append a 0 here, right. So it will become 0 1 0, it removes this particular. Then again when I do a right shift, it will become 0 1, it will remove this particular bit. Then again when I do a right shift, so it will remove this one, at the end I will get 0. Okay. So I performed 1 2 3, I performed 3 operation, and that is the number of bits we have. So we have to do right shift until we get a 0. So this logic will be, or this code snippet will be a simple code snippet that while my n is not equal to 0, until that point n equals to n right shift by 1, and since we want to count the number of times we are going in the loop, we will declare a count equal to 0, and let us say the loop start here and the loop ends here, and here we will just increment the counter. So at the end of the loop our count will have the number of bits. So this is one way of doing it. The complexity of this will be O of b, where b is the number of bits in the number. So here the time complexity will be O of b, and b will be the number of bits in the number. Okay. There is another way of doing this. Let me write down here. The second way is you can find out the log of this number to the base 2. So any number log to the base 2 of n plus 1 will give me the number of bits in n. Okay. So how can we do log of n to the base 2? In some of the programming languages like Java, you don't have log n to the base 2, you have just log n to the base 10, right. When you do math.log, it is log n to the base 10. So for that we will use a logarithmic formula which says that log of b to the base a is nothing but log of b to the base 10 upon log of a to the base 10, or rather 10 is a constant here, so this is also same as log of b to the base k upon log of a to the base k. So the base can be anything. So what we can do here in Java is we can do, since we are interested in log of n to the base 2, so we can do log of n to the base 10 upon log of 2 to the base 10. So we have to do a math.log divided by this and plus 1. This will give me the answer, and this is the int value that we are interested in. So this will give me the number of bits, and this is a constant time operation. So this will be O of 1. Here it will be O of b, here it will be O of 1, time complexity. Okay. So this is second way of doing it. So in case you don't remember the log formula, you can always go with this particular approach where you are finding out the number of bits using a while loop. Okay. So once you find out the number of bits, right, so we know how many bits are there. Now how can we generate this 111, right, based on that many number of bits, right. So the condition that we are looking for is having ones in all position, right. So we need 111 if it is 3 digit, right. Now this can be again achieved in two ways. One is the way we did for counting of bits. So similar to that, we can since we know the number of digits, so we can simply do a while loop, and we can say that while, let's say the number of digit is b, so while b is greater than 0, let's say m is the mask is initially 1, so we can always do m equal to m left shift by 1. So if it is 1, I am left shifting it, so now it becomes 1 0, and then I can do a m equal to m or 1. Okay. So when I am ORing it with 1, so I will OR this with 1, so this will become 1 1, right. 1 0, 1 or 0 is 1 1. So this will become 1 1. Then again I will do a left shift of 1. So this will again become 0, and I am ORing, it will become 1 1. So here I will do b minus minus. So I will continue this until b is greater than 0. So initially m will start with 0, and then we will left shift m by 1 digit. So when b will be 3, 2 and 1, right, and here m is initially 0. So when b is 3, here we are left shifting it by 1 and then ORing it with again 1, right. So it will become 1. Then again I am left shifting it with 1 and ORing it with 1 1. So ORing it with 1, so it will become 1 1. And when b is 1, I am again left shifting it and ORing it with 1. So this will become 1 1 1. Okay. So again the complexity of this will be O of b. So total complexity of the algorithm will be O of b plus b, which is 2b, which is same as O of b. Okay. So this is one way. Second way is, if you see this 1 1 1, right, what is this 1 1 1? The decimal value of this is 7, right. 1 into 2 raised to 0 plus 1 into 2 raised to 1 plus 1 into 2 raised to 2. So this is nothing but 2 to 4, 4 plus 5 6 plus 1 is 7, right. Now this is same as 8 minus 1, right. If I am having 4 times 1, right, this is nothing but this is 2 raised to 3, right. 2 raised to 3 is 8, 8 plus 7 is 15, so this is 15, right, which is nothing but 16 minus 1. The reason why I am saying this 16 minus 1 and 8 minus 1 is because 8 is nothing but 1 followed by 3 zeros, 16 is nothing but 1 followed by 4 zeros. Okay. So if you see 16 minus 1 gives me 16 minus 1 gives me 1 1 1 1. 8 minus 1 gives me 1 1 1, okay, 3 times 1. So we can very well left shift 1 by the number of digits plus 1 and then minus by 1, right. Here we are minusing with 1, right. So what I mean by that is, I can do this way, I can left shift 1 by the number of digits, let us say the number of digit is b, right, and here it is number of digits plus 1, right. So b plus 1, okay. Once I left shift this by b plus 1, I will get this 1 0 0 0, right. I can simply minus by 1, this will give me my 3 times 1 or 4 times 1, right, whatever I am interested in. So this is based on the observation that we can check on the binary numbers. You will come to know about this once you start solving more binary or bit masking related problems. So this is one of the properties of binary numbers, and you can use this property to solve this in O of 1 time, right. So how we can do this is, to get all ones is, if b is the number of bits, so we will do, so this is my a and this my b, so it will do my mask equal to, I am left shifting my 1 by the number of bits that I got plus 1, and then I am minusing it with 1, this whole thing. So I need to do my bit plus 1. Once I left shift this by b plus 1, then I need to do a minus of 1, right, because this will give me 16, right, 1 followed by 4 zeros will give me 16, and 16 minus 1 is 15, that is what we want, right, 4 ones. Or in case of 7, right, here it is 8, right, 1 followed by 3 zeros is nothing but, here in terms of bit it is 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3, right. So this is 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8, right. So this will give me 8, and 8 minus 1 is 7, where we get the 3 ones, right. So we are interested in minus 1, so we will do minus 1 here. So that is the mask value. So once I get the mask value, I can simply do a XOR with mask. So I can simply return this value, okay. So let us write down the code for this. So here first, we know that if n is 0, we can directly return 1, right, there will not be any other case, right. So we can use that as our base case, and since we are using the log based solution here, we need to make sure that n is equal to 0, then return 1. We cannot do a log of 0, that is undefined value. So that is why this base case is important here. So let us do int b equal to mat dot log of my n. I will add a plus 1 to this. So this will give me my number of bits. Once I have the number of bits, then I can do the left shift of 1. So my mask equal to, I am left shifting 1 by the number of bits plus 1, and once I have that value, then I can subtract by 1. So this will be my mask, and once I have the mask, I can simply return n XOR mask value. So let's run this code and see whether it works fine. Okay, so here I am already doing bit plus 1, so I don't need to do here b plus 1. Let's run this code again. Yeah, it's as expected. Let's submit this code, and the code is approved. So the time complexity of the solution will be O of 1, and the space complexity will also be O of 1. So that's it for this video. Hope you liked the video. Please do subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And if you have any questions, please do write into the comment section. Thank you.